Are you tired of playing in your typical good campaign? Would you want to switch from maybe lawful good to the more evil side of the alignment chart?
I do. Tell me more.
Well, thankfully today we're going to be going over the supplement, the Dark Archetypes.
Welcome to the Homebrew Crew. I'm Tony, this is Sean, and today we are going over the Dark Archetypes by Nikolas Totief.
Yes, this is for those people out there that are sick of hanging out with all the goody two-shoes and saving the world. Why don't you try maybe destroying it a little bit?
This is a perfect supplement for anybody who wants to play evil characters and putting together a party of these evil characters.
Yeah, it's great because this is a great example of how to create an overall theme with your content. Now, that being said, this is kind of more flavored to maybe a darker or at least a more evil kind of, party that you're working with. Maybe you could reason, and maybe out of, funniness, you could maybe reason for some good characters, but it's really themed for that darker tone.
Wouldn't it be good, though? Like, every once in a while, this is a thing that happens in my campaigns and the problems that the players that I play with and all that.
Yeah.
It always turns into the same thing. I become the one evil character, and everybody else is saving everybody. Oh, let's save the bunny. No. I don't want the bunny,
Right.
Wouldn't it be an interesting thing to have a bunch of evil characters and just one good guy with them?
Yeah, for a change, because usually it's the other way around.
Now, this one goes over a lot of different classes, and it actually has a new subclass for every single main class.
For every base class in D&D5e right now, there's actually a subclass for each one. Like for the Paladin, for example, there's actually 7 different oaths that you can take.
Each goes underneath a particular deadly sin, which is pretty cool.
Really cool. There's new items for certain classes. There's new spells for certain classes too. So there's a lot of different things that you can find in the supplement. But today we're actually going to be breaking that Warlock chain that we haven't been working on, and we're going to look over the Hive Mind Warlock.
What better way to describe something and go over a dark thing than giving our soul to some demon lord?
Yes, exactly.
But this one is a Hive Mind that we're giving it to. This is the Warlock of the Hive Mind, and is part of this Dark Archetypes.
Yes, so right off the bat, a lot of the spells that you're going to get, you'll notice, are very controlling kind of spells. Things that are going to manipulate your foes to, sway them in a certain way or control them to how you see fit.
Command, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Enemies Abound, Hypnotic Pattern, all sorts of things. Compulsion, Phantasmal Killer, all things that mess with your enemy's minds, which is pretty cool.
Exactly.
Now, one of the cool traits it gets at first level is this thing called Consume.
Yeah, so first thing, which is really cool, something that we don't see from too many spellcasters, is you can now use your intelligence modifier instead of charisma. So you can finally build an intelligence-based warlock.
Which is great. I mean, really, honestly, charisma classes out there, I mean, what do we have? We've got a paladin, we've got the sorcerer, we've got the bard, we've got the warlock. Everybody has this charisma. I think, why does it have to be the wizards, the intelligence?
Right, exactly.
These guys can be smart too, so you do that. Now, the thing is, though, is that you actually have a little bit more with that ability.
Yes, so if something, like a creature, goes to 0 hit points within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to actually consume them. If you do so, your intelligence score actually increases based off of the creature's intelligence modifier. Now, it's a temporary buff.
And it's a minimum of 1, so if you eat something stupid, it's
really
not
dumb,
going to hurt you.
Yeah, it's all going to be better for you.
Yeah.
But this is important to note because while you have that buff until you take a short or long rest, you're going to have more amplified spells. You're going to do more damage. Your DC for your saves is going to be higher, and your skill checks are going to be even higher as well.
And don't worry, it doesn't stack. If you consume something with a higher intelligence, that replaces the other intelligence, which is really, really cool. Now, at 6th level, you get to evolve.
Yeah, and we've seen this feature in some other things that we've seen before. It's basically kind of like a slightly more watered-down version of that. So whenever a creature within 5 feet is reduced to 0 hit points, you can also use your reaction to evolve. Basically, you gain a feature from a list of features that you can select from if that creature has it. So if it has wings, you can get flying. If it has dark vision, you also can use it to get dark vision.
Tremor sense, blind sight, claws, tails, natural armor, ability to breathe on the water, and resistance to different types of damages, which is totally useful if you're going up against something like an elemental or something. You've killed one fire elemental. Now you're going to take that, and now you have fire resistance.
Right, yeah, or give yourself some extra attacks or give yourself some mobility. It's important to note you can only have one at a time, and if you end up using Evolve, it does replace whatever you have. But it's just this nice, cool thing. It goes along with the consumption thing where not only are you consuming to increase your magical prowess, you're also kind of changing your body as well.
And it does go away with a short or long rest.
Yeah,
you lose that as well. So it's kind of a temporary thing, which is kind of neat. Now, at 10th level, I really like this ability. This is something that is a little bit different. And this is called Conquer. So at, not like Bad Fur Day, but Conqueror. At 10th level, when a creature within 30 feet of you drops to 0 hit points, you can use your reaction to suspend their death. You go, no, wait, we want to do something with you, right? And during your next turn, you can order them to take an action as a bonus action.
It's interesting. It's kind of this sick way of making them do your bidding right before they die. The last thing that they do in their life is something that you control. You can have them make an attack. You can have them make them do a spell. But it's important to note that as soon as they take an action or if they take damage, they're gone. They're unconscious or dead depending on how you run your campaign.
Right, exactly. And no matter what they possess, you can use that. So it's allowing you to use some of the stuff that the monster has, which is kind of neat. And then at 14th level, we get Obliterate.
Yeah, so what better way to end off with a lot of damage, right? So basically, whenever you use a spell from your expended spell list to command a creature, you can actually use Obliterate to make them do a intelligence save against your DC. And if they fail, they suffer 8d8 force damage.
The idea is that you are controlling these hive minds. And if you've got one of those guys under your command with it, you sever the link and it does them some pretty heavy psychic
catastrophic mental like breakage in their mind, basically.
And it's interesting that it's force damage because you have to realize that you're breaking it. It's not psychic damage. You're not like physically, or mentally wounding them.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is that with it. Now, the cool thing about this too is that they add a new pact and a bunch of invocations. Now, the Pact of the Brand, which we will go over, but the invocations, we'll just let you know there's a lot of them. And they're really
10
cool.
new ones, actually,
Yeah, they are really cool. But the Pact of the Brand. Now, your patron brands you with a magical symbol. Now, we really mean takes a poker, puts it on you,
it
and
is like a tattoo on steroids. This thing's gonna stick out. And the cool thing is that it can't be removed unless you use like a wish or something. The cool feature about this is that you can use a bonus action to use this brand to basically gain 1 Warlock spell slot or regain hit points. The spell slot thing is pretty major because, as we all know, Warlocks do not get a lot of spell slots.
Sometimes they get 1 or 4 or whatever, and that's it. But they're always like 5th level. So if you think about that, okay, so he gets up to Pack Magic. He's a 10th level Warlock. He's got 1 5th level spell slot or something to that effect. I don't play many Warlocks myself, but I mean to. And then regaining that is a big deal for you.
Yes.
Because you're mostly working on cantrips most of your time.
Right, yeah, because you're trying to save those spell slots. So, having the ability to gain even 1 spell slot, when the maximum you'll probably have is 4 or 5 is pretty major. But it's cool because part of the thing with this pact is that besides like the nice feature it gets, it's a nice little flavor that, you have this brand on your body. And depending on the campaign setting, this can be like very effective, in social interactions. Maybe the NPCs are intimidated by this brand because they know what it is.
Or maybe there's a bunch of people that are hunting people with this brand, which makes your life very, very dangerous. But I love the idea of throwing together a evil campaign with these things. In fact, if you look through all the stuff that's in this, really, truly, I mean, we're talking about, a death sworn barbarian. We're talking about the Bard of Scream.
Yes.
Like a Scream spells and all these different things. The College of the Scream. You've got a demon cult cleric.
Right.
Every single one of these is very dark, very brooding, and it's really, really great to me. I mean, even the monk is controlled by an Oni.
Yes, I think it's a great opportunity, even if you don't want to make a party full of evil characters, it's a nice opportunity to make something that's a little different. Now, obviously, each of these classes is different, but they all are kind of flavored to be more kind of toward the dark side, both in flavor of their description, but also with the abilities that they get. Most of these are going to be very offensive, controlling kind of abilities that do focus on that darker tone. So I really enjoyed reading through this just because it's something different. Like the Bard is really great because it has all these like metal kind of singer kind of things that like it focuses on.
And an imp with a banjo.
Yeah, which is always great.
But it's absolutely an awesome thing. And I think theming and flavoring your stuff is a very, very important thing to do.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you've got something that's themed like that, or something you are tossing around an idea that you'd like shared, or something you just want to send us so that we can take a look at it, you can go ahead and send that to dmbrewcrew@gmail.com right down there. And, we'll see if we can make a video out of it.
Yeah, or we might run a one-shot on our stream to actually test out all these archetypes. You can check out our stream every other Tuesday night on 7 p.m. called The Maw, where we actually get to homebrew and playtest some of the stuff that you send or things that we have submitted so we can make sure that it's balanced. We also want to be sure to thank all of our Patreons who have been supporting us. And if you decide to support us in the future, we also thank you as well. Every single dollar does help going into equipment, buying stuff to review, and things like that. So we do appreciate it, and we thank you very much.
Absolutely. And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed, and not all the time good. So until next time,
keep brewing.